Welcome at long last to another edition of yet another YouTube golfer. It's been a hot minute, hasn't it? Welcome to Project 36. Should be a pretty quick video. Again, reasons why you'll find out shortly. I'm going to get cracking off the first tee, explain what's been going on, where I am, exactly what Project 36 is, very shortly. So first shot here at the Cambridgeshire Golf Club is a 355-yard par 4 over water, over a ditch. None of that really matters today. That's a pretty terrible first shot, but it has just about got over the water. Hit it over the water somehow, but never mind. Just going to knock a 6-iron down to get us within range so we can get started, and then I'll explain what's going on. A little bit of a right-hand bounce, not too bad. So what is Project 36? What's the point of it? Reading around golf things on the internet, as I want to do, I discovered a method that is apparently fairly commonly used these days of teaching young kids how to play golf. Getting them into it without getting them disheartened. You make the holes very short to start with, and then you slowly build upwards. And then it got me thinking, that sounds like a really good way of practicing my short and approach game actually on the course. So, the way it works, you play 9 holes, and you start off, every hole is 25 yards. Yep, that's what I said, 25 yards. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to use my rangefinder, zap the pin, and drop the ball 25 yards in front of every hole that I get to. That's why I've said you're not going to see many tee shots, and it's going to be a fairly short video today. So as I said, we're going to zap the flag until we get to 25 yards, and then this hole is almost on the green. Which is part of the interesting point of doing this. So we're 25 yards away on every hole, and every hole is a par 4, so we need to try and break 36 for 9 holes, hence Project 36, or I think Challenge 36 as it's called. And I've completely misread the green there, because I thought that was going to come back left to right, and it really hasn't. I've also underhit it, but never mind. That's one shot. I've got 3 more to get down in par. Simples. And you can see why for junior golfers, for very beginners, this can work out quite nicely. Can't hit the ball very far to start with. Okay, on this one you don't need to. Oh, and I hit the ground there. It was a good line though. Down in 3, so that's a Project 36 birdie. Easy, huh? Par 5 second hole, but again, I'm just going to hit a couple of shots, get the ball down there, and then drop it 25 yards short. That's another terrible first shot. Come over the top and pulled that. Very bad. So let's talk about why I'm a 14.3 handicap golfer. I'm playing a golf game designed for complete beginners and kids. Well, let's talk about how we practice, or rather, how we don't. So I guess this is what most people think of, or most of us mid-handicappers do, when we get to a course. As a warm-up, a little bit of stretching maybe. I always like to stretch my back out, because I know that can be a problem area. Oh, there we go. And moving on to something a little bit dynamic. And then a few swings either way, just to really loosen things up. If you've got a net near the course like we have, going to hit a few shots, probably with the club you're going to take off the first tee, just to get warmed up. If you've got a bit more time, maybe start with a wedge or a 9-iron and move up. I'm just going to hit with a 5-iron, hit a few half shots, and then move up to some full shots, just to get loosened up a bit. And then if you've got a nice little putting green, chipping green, you probably come around here and hit a few chips, just get your thoughts right. Maybe see how damp the greens are, how they're reacting. And then obviously we'll go on the putting green itself and hit a few practice putts, get the speed of the green, especially if you're playing somewhere you've not played before. Hit a few longer putts for that. And then maybe a few shorter ones if you want to just check your alignment or something. And for most of us, practice-wise, that's probably about it, other than going on the range and smashing drivers around. So then we get on the course and we expect to save shots by scrambling really well, getting up and downs, hitting nice approach shots, and we are surprised when it doesn't happen. Well, that's kind of the point of challenge 36. So let's get at it and see what happens. So, did any of that look familiar? Yeah, that and the driving range. And then we come out on the course and we expect to do all the things that we've been watching on YouTube, having not really practiced them because we're always concentrating on scoring well. Well, being in my handicap, I'm not hitting all greens in regulation by any means, so I'm up and around the green. So I figured 25 yards is probably a pretty good practice range. So while the course is quiet and I'm not holding anyone up, I come out and try and break 36. So we got a nice bounce out of a tree, fine. I'm about 230 from the middle of the green, so let's hit a 5-iron. See if we can leave it about 25 yards short anyway. It's got a nice draw on it. I've got a feeling that might be through the green, which from this range is ridiculous. The fairways are quite hard. I'm probably going to get 3 on most holes. I might get some nice chips and get an occasional 2, is what I'm expecting at my handicap. So I'm going to shoot 25, 26 maybe, well under the 36 required, but that's okay. So then what? Well, then we do it all again, but we move back to 50 yards. And then when we break 36 from 50 yards, we move back to 75 yards. Now we're actually starting to have to put proper wedges onto the greens instead of little chip shots. And then we do that, we move back to 100, and then we move back to 125 and 150 and 175. And now you're starting to think, can I break 36 from here? Well, okay, it's a 175 yard par 3. You should be able to, but now you're having to start thinking about it. However, you know you've just broken 36 from 150 yards and it's not much further, so, you know, how much harder can it be? And there's the second thing. It helps you to learn to score well, in theory. Use the rangefinder, got ourselves to 25 yards. I'm going to drop the ball. This time we've got a lot more space between the green and us, so definitely going to chip it. And I'm going to hit my 52 again because that's what I'm practicing hitting. Again, okay. So that time, that wasn't a misread, that was a pull. I wonder what that'll look like on video. It's pin high, but it's a pull. So I've got about 12 feet on this one. From my angle, this is coming a little bit left to right, I think. Cup, 2 cups outside the left. Okay, maybe it was 3 cups. Nearly, that's another 3. Long uphill par 4. There's a ditch at about 190 to carry. So I'm going to be silly and take a driver because I'm not scoring and I need the practice. See if I can actually hit a decent tee shot for once today. Yes, I can. Yeah, that's well up there. Found my ball, middle of the fairway, 309 yards from the tee shot, which is not bad. And now I'm going to pick it up and drop it somewhere else. So let's talk balls. And no, I don't mean those kind of balls, although public service announcement, check yourself regularly, lads. I'm in golf balls. You've seen any of my videos, you probably know I use the TaylorMade TP5 Pix balls. I like the alignment help and the feedback it gives me when putting. I just wish they'd put them on a slightly cheaper golf ball. Now TaylorMade produce an awful lot of special editions, and I've never bothered with any of them because the pattern just doesn't work. It's just a random patterned golf ball then. So no, not for me. However, the latest one is a work of genius. This is a TaylorMade TP5 baseball. Doesn't it look great? So obviously I bought a set, and I'm too scared to use them on the course in case I lose them, which is ridiculous. However, I am using them for this challenge because I figure from 25 yards out, I'm not going to lose anything. Dropped at 25 yards again. Similar to the last one, probably got way too much green to putt over, unless you're really scared of your chipping. Slightly uphill. See if I can figure out why I went left on the last one. Similar sort of shot, obviously. And get the same distance and get the accuracy. I kind of scooped that a little bit. It's not pulled as much, but it's also not gone as far. It's sort of lifted up through it, fell back on it. A little bit closer than the last one. It's about 10 feet, so slightly closer than the last one. Pretty straight, maybe slightly right to left, I think. Right edge. Pat that hard. Okay, it was slightly more than right edge. Just slid past by about an inch. So that's another 3. Our first proper chance gone begging. So that's 9 through 3 holes. Another par 4, not a massively long one, but it is reasonably flat. Fairway slopes off right to left. We are going to use our new very silly weapon of choice, the TaylorMade Bomber 1 iron. Occasionally I can actually hit this club. Today being one of those occasions. Hoorah! So I think we've had 2 middle pins and 1 back pin at the moment. So almost putting on the first one, 2 sort of fairly standard mid chips on the second. But with the flags being varied, and hopefully the same at your course, we are going to get some very, very front flags, which all of a sudden gives us a dilemma, because do I want to hit a 52-degree chip when it's going to hop up, bounce on the fringe or short the fringe and then stop? Or do we want to take something like an 8-iron and play a nice gentle bump and run and see if we can get it to just trickle onto the green for those front pins? So it does give you some variety on the short game, and in trying to break a score makes you concentrate on your practice. At least I think it does. I'll be very disappointed if I can't break 36 from 25 yards, but I will do videos from 50, 70, moving backwards, all with a lot less commentary on, because you don't need all this again. But pop in the comments, how far back do you think I'm going to get before I don't break 36? To give you an idea, for the full front 9, I shot quite a decent 42 last night, which I was quite happy with. But the previous 2 rounds I shot 45 and 49. So, and that's with, there's 2 par 5s on there. 2 par 5s, 2 par 3s, and the rest par 4s. So how far back do you think I can get before I fail to break 36? Answers in the comments. And that's a 274-yard 1-iron into wind. Exactly what that club is supposed to do. Bullet under the wind and run like hell. Oh, what a surprise. We're at 25 yards again. This time mid-flag, so it's almost 50-50 front and green. But it is uphill, so I do need to give this a little more. Yeah, I did give it a little more, but not enough. Very good line. Just stopped probably about the same distance short as all the others. Uphill a bit right to left again. 2-3 cups. Need to give it enough. Keep leaving putts short. Got the weight about right, a couple of inches short, but under borrowed it again. So that is another 3. 25 yards on this hole would put me in the middle of that ditch. That I'm not after. So we're dropping back here at more like 28 yards. So we've got the hazard to get over, which should be absolutely ignored. But then we've got more front than we have green. So I probably need to fly this just onto the green and no more. Oh, that's way too much. That's way too much. We're off the back. Poor shot. Smashed over the green. Now it's got to chip back off a very bare lie. Once you get some penetration on that, is that going to be enough? That is pin high and about 3 feet left. That is far better. So all I've got to do is tap this in to keep the 3 train going, which I've done. Phew, thought that was going to be my first 4. Dogleg left, fairway goes from right to left. Let's see if we can have more success with the 1 iron. I've done it right once today. Let's see if we can do it again. Right hand edge of the left hand bunker. Nice and easy. Almost. A little bit thin, a bit pushed. That might have run into the right hand bunker. Never mind, we're going to drop anyway. So I'm filming a few of the tee shots just because it's better than just seeing an endless stream of chips and putts. Maybe. But it has got me thinking, if I'm hitting tee shots and then picking up moving to 25 yards, perhaps I should come up with a scoring system for my tee shots as well. I mean, you could just count fairways hit, but that's a bit dull. Because I could then just take a 7 iron off every tee and hit every fairway. Although actually, the way my swing goes, I probably wouldn't hit every fairway even with a 7 iron. So I don't know, maybe we have a multiplier. My driver and my 1 iron would have a 4x multiplier, 4 and 5 iron 3, 6 and 7 iron 2, something like that. Drop something in the comments. What do you think? How should I score the tee shots on this? And maybe I'll try that next time. As it happens, the 1 iron ran clean through the bunker. Another advantage of it rolling so much. And it's left me on the fairway. But as before, I'm picking up. Now let's go and find 25 yards. We are 25 yards away again, surprise, surprise. But now here's a flag that's 3 paces onto the front. So I could try and hit a real spinny shot, but as I'm a 15 handicapper, that's not really my bag. I could hit a flop shot, but the margin of error, if I drop that short, I'm dead. Could thin it. Let's just not do that. So the smart play here is probably a little bump and run, but what we do have at the Cambridgeshire course is these drainage ditches that run across the fairways at various places. And if I catch that at an angle, that's going to make the ball spin in all sorts of odd directions. So the bump and run is not without its risk as well, but I'm going to do that. I'm going to use an 8 iron, and in my mind, I'm hitting this as if it were a putt. And grip down it slightly to get it about the same as my putter. And hit it about the same way as I would a putt. And what I want it to do is to bounce 2 or 3 times on the turf and then trickle onto the green and roll up. The green does slope up a bit, so I can hit it a little harder, but not too much. It's pulled a bit left. It has got onto the green. And it's pinned high again. I'm hitting a lot of things left today, aren't I? Oh. And I've changed my mind on that one as I've gone to hit it. And I've decided it goes slightly further left. Changed the aim, I've missed it on the high side. Very silly. Another 3. what's been happening while I've been away, and why are we filming at the Cambridgeshire again instead of Melbourne, our regular haunt? Well, I decided in April this year, I guess in March this year, that if my handicap was to get any better, I need to play at let's call it a full-sized golf course more often. Melbourne, as you've seen from some of the other videos, I'm hitting 6 and 7 irons off most of the tees. And yeah, if my handicap's going to get down to single figures, which is my ultimate aim, I'm not deluded enough to think I'll ever be scratched, but single figures is what I would like to say I am or have been as a golfer. Then I thought, yeah, need a full-size course. And the Cambridgeshire at Bar Hill is less than 15 minutes from my house. So it seemed the obvious choice. Regular competitions here, playing competitions twice a week. And I've had some time off recently due to redundancy as well, so I've been able to get a little more golf in. Although not as much as I would have done if the UK hadn't been cooking under a massive heat wave for about 2 months. It has just been ridiculously hot around here. Now I did do a video about the Cambridgeshire last June, I think it was. So link to that, bar, card, title, something hopefully on screen. If not, it's in the description if you want a full tour of the course. Like I think most courses in the UK, the fairways are pretty baked out at the moment. The aprons at the front of the green are reasonably lush, but you'd expect that because the greens are being watered. The greens here are in great condition. Now, why some of you may be asking that I'd go and do something as stupid as buying a 1 iron, Lee Trevino famously said, not even God can hit a 1 iron. Well, I think 1 irons now are slightly different from 1 irons back in the 70s. So I think Lee could hit this one. I've also always said I feel more comfortable hitting irons than I do woods. I do have the driver in the bag. It's mentioned on a previous video last year, upgraded and warranty from the Stealth 2 to the QI35, and I do have a Stealth 2 5 wood. But yeah, I've hit the driver twice today. Once very badly, once very well. I've got a bit of a mental block with it at the moment, and the 5 wood is even worse. So the TaylorMade Bomber 1 iron got released again, and I thought, put up or shut up, are you actually better with irons than woods or not? So buy it. And yeah, as a summer club when the fairways are rolling this well, it's brilliant. What a surprise, our approach shot has landed us 25 yards away. Actually, it's not, it's just forward of there. Just hit a nice easy pitching wedge into the green after our second. Yellow flag, middle of the green, so we've got another about 50-50. Slightly sloping towards us, but not much on this one. Again, let's try not to pull it. That needed to go another 6 inches. It just landed on the fringe. Took all the energy out of it. Another 6 inches, that had pitched on the green, and it would run right up there. Close, no cigar. So with a number of leaves on the greens, you might surprise you to learn it's not actually autumn in the UK yet. It is August. But I think we've just had such a dry spell that the trees are suffering as well. And so dropping the leaves early, which is somewhat terrifying. So a bit of a longer putt this one, slightly uphill, maybe a touch right to left, right edge, I think. Come on, I've got to get a 2 today. It would be nice if this was it. Got to get it up to the hole to make that happen though. That's just fallen off at the last inch. If I'd have hit that 6 inches past the hole, that would have dropped. That's cruel. It's also another 3. So I know I skipped the last par 3, but I can't skip this one. It's about 160 to the front, but the front left bunker is the captain's bunker, which is the charity bunker for prostate cancer charity, so I can't skip the opportunity to force myself to donate more money to the captain's charity. That's so left. Wow. No, no bunker, because I'm way left of it. Flag looks to be 3 or 4 paces on from the front. It's quite a fluffy fringe here, so I do need to push this one through it, otherwise I'm going to be well short. Just took a little too much out of it on the first bounce. It just hopped up. Oh dear, I've missed the green from 25 yards. I would really rather like to not have a 4. It means I've got to get up and down from here. However, that fringe front is quite fluffy again, so I don't really want to putt it. So we are back to the 52, but a little 52, rather than a 25-yard 52. Not like that, just... There we go, 6 inches. A quick call out to Dr. Chapinski would have been nice, but instead, it's another 3. So 1 hole left to try and break the 3 streak. Last hole, let's say 1 more chance to try and get that elusive 2. I mean, up and down from 25 yards shouldn't be that hard. Into wind. Again, plenty of roll out, so we're hitting the 1 again. Hoping we get another nice shot with it. Aim for the right side of the left bunker. Hit it like a 7-iron. Oh, a little bit of draw on it. Oh, it tried to hop through the bunker and didn't quite make it. So another 3 here would net the 27 for the 9 holes, which is, you know, should be pretty easy really. Although I've hit a couple of not great ones, no 2s yet, unfortunately. Which means I need to get what, 12 to not break 36 here. So level 1 of Project 36. We can assume complete. So next time it will be from 50 yards. That should also be pretty straightforward. I really hope I can break 36 from 50 yards out. Wow, that would be depressing if I can't. How far back do you think it's going to be before I fail to break 36? Now bear in mind, we're in August now. I don't know how often I'm going to be able to shoot these. So the weather's going to change. The fairways are going to get softer. The ground's going to get boggy. Some chipping's going to get a bit trickier. Yeah, it's going to be interesting. I can very much see why people use this as a way to introduce juniors, brand new players into the game. It would be interesting for me, I think, at this distance, to have it as 27 rather than 36. Put a little bit more pressure on breaking that score. Whereas obviously I'm finding this one a bit easy. As the distances get up, that pressure is going to start to build. Can I mentally hold together a decent score when I'm getting to that, or getting close to not breaking that? How could that affect my game on the full course? Yeah, I think it's useful, but what do you think? And what modifications do you think I should make to score those tee shots, so I can practice that in the same way? We're giving myself a game and some pressure and some kind of streak to break. Answers in the comments. And surprise, surprise, here we are again at 25 yards. Yellow flag, so middle of the green. So this is another one. I need to flight this way, yard onto the green, have it run up, green slopes Slightly back to front again. And I've pulled that one as well. Left again. Good distance again, left again. Not as much as some of the others. 2 paces, so about 6 feet. You've got a little bit of left to right on this one. A little bit of left to right, a little bit uphill. 2 cups. 2 cups outside the left edge. Don't change your mind this time. Finally got the elusive 2. Wow, that took a while. At the Cambridgeshire, I was only playing 9 today, and when you finish the 9th, you either walk back down the 1st, or you walk down half of the 18th to finish. And if it's quiet, players will often drop a ball down and finish the 18th off as a little par 3. So I thought, why not try from 50 yards, just to see. So a little 60-degree wedge. Put a 9 o'clock swing into a 60-degree wedge. Full shot, this goes about 75 yards. If I catch the ground hard and slightly fatted at the same time, I pull it left, again for today, and it's almost pin high. So there's probably another 3 coming up. Just going to have a look at this from the other side while we're over here. Green, sloping, slightly sideways, but also back to front again. This looks like we're coming, again, a good foot outside that right edge. Six paces, so what, good 20 feet, a little bit over. Nice easy lag putt. Oh, just gone low on it. To about what, 1.5 feet? That's a 3 from 50 yards, so what am I going to do for a full 9 at that distance? So that's it, that's episode 1 of Project 36 in the bag. My new short game practice routine when I'm playing casual rounds. Please like and subscribe. Drop comments and let me know what you think I'm going to shoot for the 50-yard episode and what you think I can do off the tees as a way of adding that practice area as well. Thanks for watching. I'll see you again soon.